Hashtag RC wrap up to join in this great conversation, man. Who isn't excited about a Blazers win? You want to know who's very excited? The man with the great chiseled jaw next to me, Joe Simons. Yes, he was. Look.
I'm fired up, baby.
I'm telling you, man, it was a great time.
Let's be excited. I don't understand why people cannot just look at this in the very, very short term and just say, wow, the Blazers won 6 of 7 games. There's a likely scenario in which we'll look back on this in March and say, do you remember when the Blazers were just putting it to teams night after night for like a 10-day stretch? That was wild. Their only loss in the last 7 games was at home to the best team in the NBA, and even that was a close contest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. For Portland to come out, because it was even being talked about early on in the broadcast, when Orlando went out to the 10-0 lead.
Mm-hmm. It was 14-2.
They looked great in the first quarter. They put up 35 in the first quarter. Portland, shrunk the lead down a little bit. But there was the acknowledgement and understanding of, okay, you're one nationally televised game against Milwaukee. You show out, you get that win, you're on the big stage, and you perform when TNT comes into your building. So it would be a natural letdown against a team that you embarrassed in nastiness in the game, which I think Toumani brought on very, very well.
Yeah.
And I am stunned at this final result because it wasn't like Portland eked out a 6-point win. This wasn't like a 10-point game.
No.
This game was over before the fourth quarter started.
Oh, it was over. I think it was, 7 minutes in the third quarter. Everybody in the press row area, we were just kind of looking like, this game's over. Like they have nothing. Like everything they tried.
They showed no life.
I mean, Toumani was so disruptive. They're like, all right, let's attack Shaden or Scoot, and they Toumani would kind of linger and help over. DA would help and linger over. And they'd take that away, and then it was skip past the corner, DA rotate out and contest a 3, and then Denny rotating out, closing out on somebody, and you're just sitting there going, oh my God, they can't do anything. Now, early in the game, the Magic were 2 of 12 from 3, and I look up and Ant is 2 of 2 from 3. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right, because one of these guys can shoot better than this entire team. But even more than that, I know this Magic team's been bad in the half court. So I looked it up. They're the second worst half court offense in the entire league, and they're barely ahead of the Washington Wizards. And if you remember what Anthony Simons said following the win against Milwaukee, when he was asked, how did you guys win this game? Yeah. And I thought what Ant said was really poignant as you're starting to see it over the stretch. They do really well against teams that play in the half court because they can show their length, they can show their strength, they can show their athleticism. Orlando's big, but remember, the Portland Trailblazers are the biggest team in the league.
Yeah.
They're quite literally the biggest team in the league. And
I feel like we don't talk about that enough.
Well, because a lot of times when you're playing a faster paced game and you're getting up and down the floor, and you've got younger guys that don't have. When they've played the Clippers, I've had a couple front office folks and scouts like, well, I'll talk to them before a game and like, what do you think's going to happen? How do you think this is going to go? And when they play the Clippers, it was very funny. Like, oh, the Clippers are going to mop them. It's not because they're that much better of a team. It's because they're so veteran. Mm-hmm. They've seen everything. You've got Harden, you've got Powell, you've got Zoo. Like, they're a very veteran team that knows how to execute. Ty Lue has been with these guys for a while. They know who they are. This Magic team is also still young and still trying to figure some things out. You see Paolo and Franz trying to figure things out. The Milwaukee team, Dame and Giannis, they know what they're doing, but if Brooks not going and Chris Middleton is cooked, it's like, where does the rest of the stuff come from? And when they can keep everything in front of them, they can show that length. And somebody like Toumani can be disruptive. Jabari Walker, who is apparently Paolo Banchero kryptonite. It's crazy how good he has played against him. But Denny, too. DA's
we haven't even got to talk about DA
He's been so good the last 5 games. Like, their defensive effort. I thought Ant was good defensively tonight. I think Scoot was good defensively tonight. Shaden was good defensively tonight. Like, everybody was good defensively tonight.
You can see the vibes permeating both sides of the floor.
Do I need to buy some tickets?
You can buy tickets.
Do I need to buy some tickets?
No. I know where you're going. Now look, folks. Look, folks.
Yes.
It is not time, like Tyree and I said before the show.
Come on now, baby. Joey, you got it going right, brother.
It is not time to have that conversation. No. Now,
I'm just excited.
We're having a conversation about the conversation, but it is not time for the conversation. You can make all the faces you want, young Daniel. But they are playing Phoenix twice this weekend.
It'd be a good test.
If they sweep Phoenix,
be a good test.
Then we can start having a conversation about the conversation.
But here's the thing also. That Phoenix team, what do? They play in the half court. Now, they're a lot better because that half court features Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal has been playing a lot better. Nick Richards has been a massive upgrade over Yusuf Nurkic. But you look at what this team is doing. I'm not even getting to the offense. We can talk about the offense later. Their defense has been so aggressive. And again, I think this coincides with what we talked about. I guess we didn't because it was the Milwaukee game, but the level of physicality that's being allowed to be played again. This is the same thing we saw from the NBA last year as we got towards the end of the season. Here's an idea. Start the season like this. Stop blowing the whistle 1,000 times in the first 30 games and then going, hey, it's the All-Star break. You know what we should do? Change the entire style and flow of the game. This is the level and kind of basketball everybody wants to see. Even though the Magic played, I mean, they got stuffed in a locker.
Now, what do you mean by that? What style of basketball? So let's just take it from this perspective. Yeah. Everyone says, oh, my God, too many threes. This is really annoying. So what style of basketball are you saying is being played now because of the way the game is being officiated?
They're allowing guys to bump and chuck cutters. They're allowing guys to be physical at the point of attack. They're allowing guys to – because the reason you have so many threes is because so many shot creators, the elite shot creators, the guys off the bounce. You've seen them here, Ant, Dame, CJ. But you look at the Stephs, the Tyrese Halliburtons, these guys that have bent defenses out so far. The biggest thing about it is James Harden, you can't look it sideways. But if all of a sudden you can bump and chuck and put your hand on a guy, hand checking as it were, you can do more things defensively. Paolo is 6'10" and probably 270 pounds. He is a truck of a human. If you can't be physical with him, there is no stopping that.
I think we should also had 2 blocks against Giannis. Dame only had 20
fired up.
I mean, I can tell for
DA's been phenomenal the last 5 games. Like, this is what DeAndre Ayton should be.
Yes,
and that's the frustration.
We joke about the spirit thing, but it has been incredibly high across the team
night and day
during this little stretch, and it's interesting to see how long this will last because it will. Not to be a downer, it'll run out at some point.
It waxes and wanes.
Every hot team gets cold. That's what happens. The Cavs have lost some games. The Thunder have lost it. Any team does.
Yeah.
And Portland will cool off eventually. It will just be interesting to see how long this actually goes for because the dynamic of the conversation is changing because this is their 19th win now. They were predicted to win 22.
They're winning more than that.
We are getting to a point where Portland is going to go not only over their win total for Vegas, but they're starting to get a little bit locked into the position, or at least the worst possible position they're going to be in when you get to capturing the flag.
Yeah.
Right? When you get to that point.
And you're not going to be able to have it both ways.
You're not.
And that's the thing is they could shut down Ant, Jeremy, DA, Rob, and it will cause them. And it was like, well, Scoot will do this. And it's like, if you have this is going to be the downer side of this. If those guys aren't on the floor, you're going to allow for more volatility. The younger guys are going to have this might have been Scoot's best game of his career. I thought his feel was incredible tonight. Like he made
complete control.
In complete control. And it is night and day difference from a month ago.
Oh,
I mean, I'm little tease. I'm doing a very long write-up on Scoot's first 100 games.
Where?
Oh, on the Patreon. JacksRamsey's.com.
Plug it in.
Patreon. Or patreon.com/Jack Ramsey's. It is going to be very long. And when I first started doing it, it was around game 90. We're at game 102 now. I want to say I started thinking about it like 85, 88, somewhere in there. Every bit of analytical stuff had him as one of the worst guards in modern NBA history through nearly the first 100 games. Field goal percentage, three-point percentage, assist rate, turnover rate. Like his comps were Sebastian Telfair and Emmanuel Mudiay. Like it was bad.
But
the guys that are in front of him on that list are guys like De'Aaron Fox and Darius Garland, guys who turned it around. But there was a order of magnitude difference between those guys and where Scoot was. I understand why, but talking to people around the team, it really has been a switch that has flipped because it wasn't like some slow burn to this. And the general consensus, and I'll save the goods for it for later, but is that he's just playing free. He's not worrying about stuff. And it's a lot like if you have a turnover, you have a turnover. If you miss a shot, you miss a shot. And you can see, like, he's playing with joy. He's playing free. There's something to him. And even when he misses a shot, you can see him not, like, beating himself to death. The decision making, like, I don't even care about shots going in. It's you've watched literally hundreds of games. It's the process. It's the shots you take.
Yeah, I mean, Scoot was only 7 of 16 tonight from the field. It's not like it was an exceptional game from the field, but I understand what you're saying because
the shots that he took were
the control
right.
is there.
Yes.
Exactly. He had a couple of offensive rebounds, a couple of steals, 7 assists. Like, he's involved in all facets of the game, and the decision-making level was so high from him tonight. And I think it's an excellent point you make in terms of him not beating himself up, because I think that is been a big thing with Scoot is when it goes bad, it snowballs. Yeah. When it goes good, it snowballs.
He rides heaters. There's no doubt about that.
Being more here is it's interesting because we call for the Blazers to be more passionate, and Scoot is one of the more passionate guys in the team.
The most, I would say.
It's almost like you want Shea to be a little bit more like Scoot personality-wise.
Give him a little
and
that.
Scoot a little more like Shea. Just
no,
balance that a little bit.
Keep them up.
Bring them both up.
Exactly.
Well, to that point, Shea gave Goga a little chicken wing, and Goga got up and
that was
face.
Crazy.
A little smile on
Yeah,
his
well,
eyes,
look,
like, ooh.
and Chauncey Billups was asked about that post game, and he said, I'm paraphrasing some version of, I want somebody to go at Shaedon every night because it brings out a little bit of tenacity. Remember the game against Houston when Dylan Brooks got him his face, and Shea basically said some things we can't say on TV, but it was like, good for you, Shaedon. Like, you don't have to ask Toumani to get up. Now, Paolo decided he wanted to chirp at Toumani tonight, which I would not suggest one does because he's going to be here to start the game. If you want to take him up here, go with God, man. You don't want him to get extra invested because that's what he lives for. I asked Chauncey after the game, like, what level can Toumani get to? And he says, we're not going to put that on him, and he can keep going, and he's going to keep going. Speaking of the Milwaukee game, Damian Lillard postgame was asked about Toumani Camara, and he said, I think Tu is one of the 2 most important players on that entire roster. He is the tone setter. He is their heart and soul. And he also flat out said he's one of the best defenders in the league. And Jason Quick of The Athletic wrote an article talking to opponents. I've done the same thing for the last 2 years. I remember asking an all-star point guard on an opponent after playing Toumani. I want to say it was like maybe a month into the season.
Which one?
I don't know.
But he goes, that dude's a bleepity bleep. And he goes, he's a dog. Like, he doesn't even know what he's doing yet. And he's like, he goes, I hate him, and then smiled. And it was like, oh, he's got something. Like, he's cooking with gas. And you saw that tick up last year. He is elevating to, like, quite literally one of the premier defenders in the NBA. And when you've got a guy like that, it does go throughout the team. I don't like Dylan Brooks. I have been very blunt about that.
What?
Really? That's
But
new.
the thing
Weird.
about him is that tenacity, that level of aggressiveness, it fed throughout the Memphis Grizzlies. It feeds throughout the Houston Rockets. You need to have that kind of guy to be that level of defense.
Yeah, can I just say real quick, Cole Anthony, that was quite a display for him tonight, diving at everyone's legs. Like, that was crazy. And him masking it as like, I'm going for the ball.
I don't think he's dirty. I think he's reckless. I think there is a difference.
Fair.
I've
Fair.
been around
Whatever
for
you want to say.
A lot of Cole's. Well, here's the thing.
Either way, it's destructive.
It is
and dangerous.
And the one involved with Jaden Ivey's broken leg.
Precisely.
Even the first time we all went, whoa, dude, what are you doing? And then he did it the second time, and I said it online. I was like, I don't think he's dirty. Like, I've followed Cole's whole
At the very
career.
least, it's borderline.
I think it's just reckless, and I do think he's just
reckless, who's dirty and whatnot. Just Portland dad. I was in the boat of thinking Scoot wasn't the guy at point guard going forward, and now after these last few games, I am raising my eyebrows and second guess of a Dick Hanna Subaru.
Oh.
Joe.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Friends, I hope you got your groceries, and I hope you got your Dick Hanna Subaru, because winter is here. It's the perfect time to check out the new 2025 Subaru models rolling in every day over at Dick Hanna Subaru. Subaru delivers with that lifetime powertrain warranty on every new car. Experience nice in the car business at Dick Hanna Subaru. Believe in nice. Visit them today and see why a Subaru is perfect for the season and your next big assist. Well, it's time for a deep dive into a shallow topic. That's right. Trend BA.
And this NBA is involving the lead guy at the NBA, Mr. Adam Silver himself. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it because the big guy, well, he is suggesting the NBA can shorten games to about 10 minutes. Now, that would only help Danny to get here on time to start the show.
Whoa,
Got him.
the show.
You were
Got
here
it.
on time. That is true.
Got
That is
it.
true.
No, that's a great drive-by. I love that. That's
But
good.
you know, it may help somebody get to, a restaurant before they close at 11 p.m. But I mean, overall, I don't feel like that's something NBA fans want. Am I wrong?
I want to grab a soapbox and stand on it right now. Most of the things Adam Silver has done, I've disagreed with.
Hey guys, look over here. Yeah. Look at this problem over here that I'm creating so you don't look at the real problems.
Yeah.
I'm Adam Silver. I run the NBA. This is ridiculous.
Every time he gets up and does one of these press conferences, or this wasn't a press conference, it's on Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick.
But when he does like a State of the Union kind of thing, he's like, look how many impressions we have on social media.
Yeah.
I don't care. Here's a very simple thing you can do to solve your problem in the NBA. Start your bleeping games on time.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you so much. It is insane that they do this. The games don't start on time ever.
Look, England doesn't do anything right but one thing. Premier League soccer, when there's a noon kick, there is a ref standing at midfield with a watch at 11:59:59. Tweet. Game rose at noon.
The game started at 7:12 tonight. I checked because we were going to be
Guess
doing
what?
this.
If you're talking about cutting a game down to 2 hours, start the game at 7 o'clock. There's the first part of this. Because here's the thing. They're talking about cutting the game down to 10-minute quarters. You think they're going to give you less commercials? The answer is, no, they're not going to do that. Here's another thing. If you stop calling so many bleeping fouls, you know what else won't happen? You won't have a ton of free throws that take more time. Put hand checking back in the game, for the love of God, and stop calling fouls.
Get rid of challenges. I'm tired of the challenges. It takes way too long. I'm done with it. If you want to have specific scenarios where one play could affect the outcome of the game very, very late, fine. But generally speaking, I think challenges are a waste. Who cares if there's a turnover with 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter? I get it. It's a possession. They all matter. They don't all matter the same. Okay, if it's at the very end of the game and it decides the outcome, sure, let's introduce it there. Too many timeouts in the NBA. Sorry, coaches don't need that many timeouts. We're taking them way too often. Also, the commercials, you're right, they're not going to get rid of them. So if you want the games to go quicker, slap a bunch more patches on these guys.
No,
more jersey patches.
This is the exact
like in soccer,
same thing.
the kit
Look,
is the sponsor.
Go to commercials, stay on the game.
Yeah.
Go box and box, keep it on the timeout. Go NFL style, not the length of commercials, for the love of God. But go zoom out, go box and box, put the small box on the timeout, roll your commercial over the top, NASCAR the living bejesus out of the jersey. If that is what I have to take, fine. I will gladly do that. And shorten quarter breaks and shorten halftime.
Completely.
And how about shorten 3-point shots? How about we give a set amount of 3-pointers that teams can shoot?
Ooh, that's a big one.
Now, see, this is I know that's a bold statement to make, but I'm saying if that is such a big issue, I mean,
I don't think it's as big of an issue as you think it is. I think I get what you're saying 100%. I think that's a thing that people tangibly hold on to, especially people older than us, because it wasn't a part of the games. Like, I don't want to watch them just jack up threes. Well, the reason why they're jacking up threes is because they can cleanly. But if you allow hand checking and the defense is out further and you can play aggressive, you know what happens? Lanes open up. And when lanes open up, you get the best version of the NBA because you get dunks. Dunks are cooler than threes. You can solve all of your problems instead of creating a new one with 10-minute quarters and being very dumb about it. Instead, you can go, hey, you know what cool stuff you guys like dunks? We can make more of that happen.
Well, the reason they're suggesting this at all is because they can't actually do the thing that needs to happen, which is shorten the length of the season. Okay, well, let's see. Adam Silver's like, all right, so I can't shorten the season. How about if I take a game and I make it short? Everyone liked the Olympics. Let's make it the same length as those games. Yeah. Maybe that's a thing we can do. And another thing about the NBA that I think they really have to start doing, the NBA is talking too much about what's wrong with the NBA. Adam Silver, yes, Adam Silver should be talking about Wemby and Giannis and Jokic and all these really good things that are going on with the league because he is the face of the league. If you keep talking about how much your product is deficient and needs help, you're going to keep planting that in people's mind. Even if it is bad and people are saying that, just blow by that. It doesn't matter. Disagree with it. You don't have to take on the prevailing narrative. You're the commissioner of the NBA. You set the narrative, and he's not doing that.
Major League Baseball completely flipped its game pitch clock. You sped up the game and you made it more fun. I wonder if that would work in the NBA.
Rob Manfred has been doing a few things. He's been doing.
And he was viewed as the dumbest, worst commissioner in
back
sports.
in 2020. Yep.
Look, I'm telling you right now, Adam Silver's holding that title because the stuff that he champions over and over and over again, you're like, what? Who's asking for this?
People hate Goodell, but the NFL does evolve and change things. Look at their challenges. Like, they fly through challenges. Like, if there's an obvious call, they go to, it's not Secaucus, wherever the heck they go for the NFL. They call and they immediately change it. There's not the big thing where they put the hood on. The NFL has improved the instant replay over the years.
They put a clock on it.
It feels like the NBA is regressing the other way.
Yeah.
Can I say? I'm gonna say this about Adam, and I'm not. He's bad. He's been bad. Yes, his decision making has been DB Hooper earlier this season. Now DB Hooper is shooting them shots like crazy. Y'all saw early in the game he had that smooth move. That first point of the game was
DB efficient.
I promise you, it was one of the smoothest points I've ever seen Delano Banton ever. But my point about Adam Silver is I think he's trying to balance the new generation, the new audience, which you could throw me in there.
You have to grow the audience. I get that. But you know how you can grow the audience? Make your game cool and stop talking about how bad it is.
He thinks the three-pointers, though, as well, is part of the cooling thing. And at least that's what some of the new ager audiences are asking for. But the ones that are kind of later, probably in the later 20s to 30s, kind of my range, are seeing how much of detrimental shooting so many threes can be. I want to say Adam is trying to balance the two audiences that he has, and he's just not doing a very good job of that.
I'll ask you this. When Ant Edwards gets a clear runway and absolutely yams on somebody, is that the thing that you see trending on in NBA social stuff? Because I think it's the number one thing. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, going on a heater, got a lot of burn. But you watch, I use Ant because he's the one that gets called back to Jordan all the time. When was basketball reigning supreme? The Jordan era, when you had guys that were dunking and you had some of the best athletes on the planet showing dynamic athleticism. And I'm not saying shooting threes doesn't require that, but you don't get the display and depth of breadth of that when you have 6 foot, like Paolo. How many threes did he end up taking tonight? Because
the most threes was 26, and I was.
How many did Paolo take tonight? Because I'm sitting there watching him settle for, and I get the math behind it. I'm a math geek. I get it. But he only took 4.
Yep.
There wasn't a single 3 that he took tonight where I wasn't brick. Like, it's horrendous because you're the math that says you need to do this, this, and this. But you get down that, and it's like, it's not fun.
Well, you got somebody that agrees with you. Paul, he's saying 100%. Bring back old school hand checking. Tired of all these 3-ball, no skill in the game. Need to get back old school and have centers that are actually centers. Bring back the glove era play. You don't see me saying nothing. I think if you have to put it on competition, you put it on whatever social media platform you like. If you put a big Ant dunk or a Steph Curry game-winning 3, the dunk's probably gonna do a little bit better.
I'll just say this: the Blazers took 25 threes tonight.
Yep.
Did you enjoy the style of basketball tonight? Because I thought it was an incredibly entertaining brand of basketball.
Very.
How many dunks did you have tonight? You had 2 dunk. You had DA dunk. DA had a fast break dunk. Like, you're telling me that wasn't cool? Like, and they only took 25 threes and they scored 119. You can get, if you're getting up and down the floor and you're getting these pockets of openness behind defenses and you allow for that level of play, I think you can get these kind of games night in, night out, up and down. Memphis and Houston, 2 teams that can't shoot to save their lives, played a 119-120 game that was just going viral tonight. And everyone loved it because you have 2 teams that are physical as could be, going at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I understand that dunking is like the thing that you can point to, and I don't disagree with that. But I think it's a general.
It's the totem.
It's a general ferociousness.
Yes.
I don't think it's like people are yearning for 74, 75 games in the 90s.
No, God, no.
What they're yearning for is the intense, aggressive nature of the games. And part of what made our game fun tonight was the chippiness of 2 and Paolo, and sort of the nastiness and the idea that these guys aren't all like super buddy, because that's also a criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do think it is starting to swing back the other way, even as we're having this conversation about too many threes. I do think that there is this element of you can be a team that doesn't have like outstanding three-point shooters like a Houston, like an Orlando, and be a successful playoff team. I mean, Houston's the second best team in the Western Conference, and they can't shoot worth a lick.
No, they're a horrendous shooting team, and they're finding ways. I mean, Amen Thompson is a guy who, when he was coming into the draft, yes, he was drafted fourth, incredibly high, but the criticism, the evaluation of him is he can never be one of your top probably 2 or 3 guys because he can't shoot. Like, he just can't shoot.
It's the notion that Draymond is so special, there aren't players like Draymond that can exist.
You can be
like he does.
You can be very important without having that.
Right.
But if all you're playing is 5-out offense, it's like it's a copycat league. And everybody tried to copy what the Warriors are doing, which you can't copy. You can't have the greatest offensive players of all time on one team. Be like, yeah, no, be like them. And I think you're seeing the same thing in the NFL right now. The Philadelphia Eagles aren't passing their way to a Super Bowl rematch with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're bludgeoning people with a massive offensive line and one of the most dynamic running backs we've ever seen.
Yeah, those two teams are playing very similar right now. Obviously, Philly has a much more dominant run game, but they are just sort of like poking away at each other.
It's like 2006
They're
NFL.
zagging.
Yeah.
They're zagging.
I'm surprised you're talking about the Eagles as a Cowboys fan.
They're in the Super Bowl. I mean, we can't talk about the Cowboys in January unless they're talking about the terrible head coaching hire they made.
First take. Hey,
Congrats,
they do it all
everybody.
the time. Who's your guy? Brian
Schottenheimer, Marty's kid.
There you go.
What's he been doing? He's been the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. That awesome team. That's enough Cowboys talk. This is a Blazers show.
My
the
God.
Blazers are playing great right now. In fact, Danny, I'm curious about something. Do we think that Blazer fans want this team to tank, or do they want this team to win basketball games? Like, do you think, generally speaking, fans are
High-level
excited?
fans, they want the wins. And I'm not saying high level isn't like smarter or anything like that. I'm
Right.
talking about if I took a mic and went man on the street and interviewed Blazer fan after Blazer fan after Blazer fan, leaving the arena tonight, do you want this or do you want a chance at Cooper Flag? The answer will be they want this.
Yes.
And that is, there is a but.
Do we have the poll?
You know what?
There's a whole poll.
There is a poll, and we're going to bring it up right here on the Blazer Box
Blazer
that
Box.
Danny was not familiar with. Let me go ahead and vote right there just so you can see.
Okay, I have to
Yeah.
say, early returns, it was very heavy to, yeah, that's the point, win basketball games. It was like 82 to 18, and now it's starting to shrink a little bit.
I retweeted it.
Okay, so now the Marangers' heads are,
The
They put it in there.
sickos are in there.
Sure.
And that's the but.
yeah.
Who doesn't want to
It's-
win?
No, and that's the thing. It's always more fun to win. As I've said this 1,000 times, in the tank process is why you want to steal a couple games every now and then, because it is a brutal landscape. It was like, they need to do what the Wizards are doing. No, there's a reason why nobody has done what the Wizards are doing besides the Philadelphia 76ers, because it is a just vast desert of disgusting.
They don't like their fans.
And it's
Washington is 6-41.
They've lost 13 straight.
They've lost 16
16?
straight
So that's their
NBA
second
basketball
straight,
games.
That is their second straight, second this season, 16-game losing streak.
Can you say that? That's record again?
They are 6 for the Wizards of Washington.
That is 12 wins.
At least their football team.
We have saved Denny Avdia,
Oh,
baby.
capture
We
the
have-
flag.
All right. Well, since we're already talking about it, I mean,
Fumbling the flag.
Yeah.
a little bit. I mean, whatever, man. As long as if we get to a play-in game, yeah, I said it. If we get to a play-in
Oh,
game,
no.
Oh,
forget
don't.
it. Why?
No.
No?
If they
God,
sweep
no.
Phoenix, I'll be
No,
talking with you
no,
on
No?
that.
No, God, no. Please, no. No.
Okay,
that's-
so this is the one to look at.
That's nasty stuff.
This
I'm
is
sorry.
the one to
I'm
look
sorry,
at.
Danny. Forgive
So
me.
Philadelphia is going to try like hell to win basketball games. So I don't think we have to worry about them. Chicago is the one in here that I'm worried about, that Portland may do a little bit better than, because Chicago is in this weird nexus that kind of Portland is in now, although Chicago was in that maybe more a couple weeks ago.
But they're also
But
in
they're
the
still in
East,
this position. Exactly.
which is kind of the plan here.
Right.
As good as they're playing, they still need
Portland.
the Blazers.
Yes.
They still need a guy. They do. Like I love what I've seen from Scoot. Denny has been. The incredible thing is the Blazers played this way tonight, and Denny did not have to do really anything. Like, he was good, but he didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, if you look at the scoring, Scoot had 23, Shea had 23 off the bench, DA had 22, DB had 11, and Denny had 11. And that was basically the scoring.
When did did Delano get 11? That's crazy.
Very silently.
Yeah, no, it didn't feel like
DB
that.
Hooper, a couple threes, couple free throws.
I guess so.
Just
Yeah,
the one
just kind of-
turnover. Tyree is
Dude,
doing
that's
the
his
thing.
thing out there.
Everybody is starting to figure it out just a little bit better. Like we have those top lead guys. You already have the Ants and you have the Shaden Sharps, but Ant is figuring it out in a different way. Shea is figuring it out in a different way.
Well, they're
Denny
also
is-
like it could be a different guy each night. That's kind of the thing, but that's also.
It's an embarrassment of riches in Rip City.
That's also the issue.
Lovely.
Is that in the NBA, the whole a different guy every night thing, it does not work.
Well, look at Houston. You talk about that game. Houston needed to make a shot to win that game in Memphis, and they had Fred VanVleet, or the ghost of Fred VanVleet, shooting that shot.
And they're hoping that
one
Jalen
season.
Green is that guy,
Sure.
but also
They're hoping.
the Jalen Green roller coaster is like
Right.
when he's bad, he's horrendous. When he's great, it is. You're sitting there going, "Oh boy, is there a more dynamic, electric athlete scorer in the NBA?" Like they've got the other one in Thompson, where you're like, but they're very different because Jalen Amen can't.
Yeah.
But you still need the guy, and as good as Scoot has been, I don't think Scoot is the guy. As good as Shaden has been, he has to take a leap from a mentality standpoint to have a chance.
I don't think even the most optimistic Blazer fans can say that either Shea or Scoot are A-listers.
No.
Like, they can be B-listers maybe on a contending team. I absolutely believe that. But in terms of being the Batman, we don't have a Batman.
No, and again, it's not a shot at those guys.
Guys, that's a reference to the character Batman.
Yeah,
I want to
no,
make
yeah,
sure.
thank you.
Who
you're
doesn't
sticking with me
understand
here.
that?
Well, sometimes you guys make, comic book references that I don't understand, so I also want to make sure you understand
he-
the
he-
character of
He
Batman.
got that one. So so to speak, they need to turn off the water. That if they're going to go a certain way, they do need to lose some games. And I think organizationally, they think even if they sat all the vets, that they would still win some games with the young guys. I would disagree with that. I think you're going to have nights if you.
What's the line of vet, though? Who's like the last, is Denny one of the vets that you sit down, or is Denny, I know, he's right in the middle there.
And that's the thing is like.
What is Shea?
No, Shea's definitely not. If you're basically rolling out some version of Scoot, Shea, Toumani, not Donovan because he can't play those minutes, but maybe
Rob?
Well, Rob 100%, but
Overtime, baby. like 20 shots a night for Delano.
splitting the center rotation between Jabari and Donovan and seeing kind of what you get out. Maybe Watt plays some
Yeah.
minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to lose a lot of games,
Right?
Because you're going to have volatility with young guys. That's why that's the difference between young players and veterans isn't necessarily skill; it's consistency.
Sure.
And it's not, again, these guys are playing really well. But the second one of them has an off night or they throw a defense at them that they're not used to or they give them a different, they can lose a lot of games down the stretch.
Well,
And that's what young guys do. That's why the one except it's somebody saying right now, well, look at OKC. And it's like, yes, you found the one team in 50 years that has managed to do that because they have a 24-year-old or 25-year-old MVP candidate.
Well,
That helps.
Honestly, yeah, I have no more words. Yeah, that's true. That changes kind of the conversation a little bit, right?
But like, you want, in my opinion, I still think you want to try to get to that fifth worst record to have that percentage odds. But if they finish the season somewhere between 5 and 7,
I think they're already in a difficult spot to try to do that.
I do too. And again, I've said it all season. I thought those 5 games early in the season that they won that they didn't expect to win,
Right. But
kind
that's
of made it difficult.
okay. We wanted a thing to happen going into the season. Well, that reality is kind of gone now. We can't continue down that path because we're looking at this reality now.
Well, you can. It's
Well,
just
let's not do it,
It's
though.
so far to the extreme it becomes the Wizards.
but exactly.
Do you want to snuff that out?
And even if you do that, you still have the opportunity to be locked into like the 5th or 6th worst record.
You can still fall back in the lottery. That's the thing is like, again, I'm the math guy. I'm aware of the numbers, guys. I still think they should lean that way, and not in the way that they've been so egregious in the past. Play the young guys and live with what happens. I don't like it because it's not clean. But the reality is, as much as I don't like it, and this is if I'm the GM, you just kind of have to. It's not black and white. You and his staff get these guys to buy in, and the second they buy in, you go, well, sorry, that you just can't.
I know what you mean.
And like the numbers in my head are going, turn this off, go as hard as you can to get a guy that makes an impact. The other side of it is just no.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. I gotta talk to you folks about an exciting product. That's right, basketball fans. The game's over, but the night is just getting started, baby. Let's talk about keeping those good vibes going with Best Day Brewing, the fastest growing non-alcoholic craft beer brand. It's the ultimate post-game play. We get to enjoy a delicious beer without worrying about tomorrow because, let's face it, celebrating tonight's win doesn't need alcohol. So fans, make every day your best day. Find your nearest Best Day Brewing retailer at bestdaybrewing.com. I think we have more Trembier, Tyree.
Yes, we do. Let's go to a Trembier because this Trembier is going to definitely get the guy to my right fired up. It's missing a few people, man. Missing a few people.
Yeah, the Rising Stars came out and
Scoot's fourth year.
Yeah, honestly, I was surprised Scoot accepted it.
I am too.
You're
getting to All-Star Weekend though.
But the flip side of it is, with Scoot playing well, like if you're looking at the upside, if he goes out there and he's a part of the group that goes and plays on the big stage, like if they win and they get in the 4-team tournament, and he's out there in the big games and he's guarding James Harden and he's living up to what we've seen for the last couple weeks, like that's the payoff. Now, Jaime Jaquez Jr. has no business being on that team over Toumani Camara. Zero.
I saw that too.
Absolutely zero. He is outplaying him by literally every statistical measure. He's a better player than him. He is like talking to players around the league. Tu's reputation is skyrocketing as a defender. Like they all guys will recognize guys when they get to that level, and everyone you talk to is like, no, it's not fake. Like remember the Russell Westbrook.
Oh, you didn't believe in the Pat Bev era at that time.
Look, he was a hustle guy, but no. Toumani is that dude defensively, and no, it doesn't sell for the All-Star game. But for whatever rookie sophomore,
lead the league in charges.
He should be there. I don't think Donovan Brandon Miller is going to be left off for an injury. I think there's an opportunity there, but you might see Asar Thompson from Detroit be a candidate for that spot. I think two should absolutely go. I don't think Donovan makes it, even if one of the bigs gets left off. Derek Lively is on the sophomore team, so maybe they try to move something around. I don't know. But Donovan and Edey have played the same amount of games, but the counting stats, Edey's got him. And Khalil Ware has been very good. He might win Rookie of the Year. Like that, the level that he's playing at right now is incredibly good for Miami. But a two should absolutely be on that team.
Since you missed this, you mentioned Jaime, and I kind of want to get your guys' opinion. You only got less than 10 minutes in the show, so I'm curious. We haven't got a chance to talk. Well, never mind. Producers just let me know we got 5 minutes left. All right, before we preview Saturday's game against Phoenix, Danny, what's your thoughts on this? To the Blazer box we go. Joe as well. Miami just seems to be in disarray.
Who could have predicted this?
So essentially what happened was Jimmy Butler walked out of the Heat shoot-around. This was on Monday, and he just walked off. And after that, reports came out. Homeboy suspended indefinitely. Don't know if he's even going to return to the Heat.
Well, he's suspended indefinitely until February 7th, which is coincidentally the day after the trade deadline. It's ominous timing.
This is so boring. I'm so tired of the Jimmy Butler
Just
story.
do it already.
I'm exhausted by this.
Well, this is what he does. When he's done, he's done, and he's going to make it so toxic. And he's going to out ego Pat Riley, which. Bravo,
congratulations,
brother. Bravo, that's impressive.
You know how Pat is.
Look, Miami, take the L. Figure it out. Move on. Like you're not getting anything for him.
Yeah.
Like it's for all of the
stuff.
Get
him off your team.
For everything that Miami said about Portland in the Dame trade stuff, this is what it actually looks like. You're not getting the stuff you want back. You're gonna take it in the shorts on the back end.
Yeah.
It is what it is. This is what real toxicity looks like. Enjoy.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, now we get to talk about some fun stuff. Phoenix is coming to town, and that is going to be Saturday, and it's DA's old former team. I'm very curious of which DA we're going to get that night. I think...
Oh, you're going to get Spirit.
Oh, I think so. Can we go to the Blazer box real quick
question.
So we can look at the upcoming schedule for the Blazers right now? Backs-to-backs at home versus the Phoenix, and then they're still at home again Tuesday, and that's against Indiana.
And that is their last game before the trade deadline because the trade deadline will expire before the game on the 6th against the Kings.
And the Kings probably won't have De'Aaron Fox, at least the way the reports are talking about looking to deal him. What's your guys' thoughts on this upcoming schedule right here?
I think it's fascinating. I think the Phoenix games are, again, just a really...
Very likely not going to play.
Well, him and Coach Bud haven't talked in 2 months, Dan.
Yeah, no, it's it's
That's
rough
what
down
Nurk
there.
said.
No, and I believe him. To be blunt, Da has played incredibly poorly against Phoenix since he's been traded. He says he doesn't bother him. It doesn't. Yes, it does, and it's okay. Like I get it. Like when Dame came back to Portland, he was awful. Like he was very much in his.
Dame is 1-3 against the Blazers.
Bring that Blazer box up,
so
by the
funny.
way.
But the idea of where Da is at right now, he is playing his best basketball with the Blazers, and I hope it continues against Phoenix.
Well, you see this. This is a quote from Nurkic talking about how he doesn't have a relationship with Mike, saying, quote, "We don't have a relationship, so it's fine for me. Just be a pro and do the best I can. Work and stay ready for whatever might be, but there is no chaos or bringing that to this team. They already have plenty of it. Trying to be as professional as I can and work my can't say that off for something else."
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Nurk says they're not talking. Coach Bud says they've talked. I don't really know what he's talking about. We all know Nurk is a guy who can get in his feelings.
Yeah.
Like that's clearly part of his personality. But it also is a very difficult situation that he's in right now for a team that's supposed to be contending for an NBA title. They're underachieving, and he's taking a lion's share of the blame.
Yeah, and he's not the only one, but unfortunately, his injury just sapped what he was, and we saw that here. I love Nurk as a dude. I really do. He's one of the kindest, nicest dudes. Like, he can be surly and grumpy. I know, I can do the same thing. It happens.
What?
Yeah, no. But I hate saying this for him. I genuinely do.
It sucks.
Like, it sucks because he genuinely.
Nurk was an important shooting star in the history of the Blazers. Like, that was a time. Nurk fever was a time that existed.
That injury against Brooklyn, you know how I reacted.
Horrific.
When it happened. It's gutting. It's and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But I mean, watching Chris Middleton play the other night, I don't think he can play in the NBA anymore.
No.
Like both those guys. I think
it was sad.
I think they might both be done, and it sucks.
They win these games, we're having the conversation.
Doc Rivers.
I'm
talking
not.
about-
I'm not.
We're having the conversation.
Nope, not a chance.
But on the Chris Middleton thing, I'll say that at least Doc Rivers, before the game against the Blazers, he was very optimistic talking about Chris, seeing where he was going to be. So for that organization, luckily we still got the W though against the Bucks.
There we go.
Got the
Let's get a game on Saturday and see
They'd
what
be
happens.
4 out of the play-in if they sweep the Suns.
I'm
They'd
telling
be
you.
4 out of the play-in if they sweep the Suns.
Let's make a bet. If they sweep the Suns, Danny has to get a tattoo.
No,
You don't want to do that?
no.
You got to do something.
We'll figure something out. But I don't want this, and nobody should want that.
Oh, I do.
No, you don't. No,
We don't?
It would be an absolute
Don't
trash
tell the
sham
people
mockery.
what they want.
You
They
should,
want
you
Danny
should
with a
not want
tattoo.
that.
What lives in their
It is
heart
the
lives in their
2015
hearts.
Phoenix Suns all over again, and boy, was that awful.
Folks, thank you for joining us for this episode of Rip City Wrap Up. Danny Marang thinking
nice
about getting a
haircut.
tattoo. Chisel Jaw Joe is just going to keep looking handsome, and I'm going to be the one in the black turtleneck. We'll see you guys again Saturday. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all.